Yeah, good to see you once again, and thank you for clicking. Oh, by the way, let me tell you one thing. Thank you very much for always coming here to watch my videos. And by the way, this is Good Joseph. And on this video, on this board, I'm going to share with you 4 people who is very hard for them to actually become rich because they possess some of the qualities and some of the characters and behaviors that deters them from achieving their full realization. And guess what? You can actually identify yourself as early as this. And if you happen to get yourself into this category, I'm going to share with you at the end of this video what you're supposed to do so that you get yourself out of this category. And guess what? This is Good Joseph channel. I fully dedicated this channel towards making things to do with finances, investments, and putting our house in order as far as the money is concerned. And I do upload a video each and every day. So if you don't want to miss any good of my videos, go ahead and leave me a comment on the comment section and make sure that you hit that subscription button so you'd be notified, and make sure that you hit a like on this video. For the next 15 minutes, I'm going to share exactly that. Let's get on the business, okay? The person number 1. It is you who never gets over you. In short, do you know you are the biggest enemy to yourself? You are the biggest deterrent to yourself. I repeat, you are the biggest enemy to yourself. You're the biggest deterrent to yourself. What does does that exactly mean? Simply means that you are this individual who you're deterred by some of the things that you either believe, either things that you actually relate to, or where you actually come from, because you're the biggest enemy to yourself. There's some of the characters that don't want to shake them off for you to realize your full potential. So you still cling to that. For example, the moment we say, hey, guess what? If you're being paid 30,000 Kenyan shillings a month, okay, you aren't supposed to pay over 10,000 for your rent. And guess what happens? Here you are on the comment section, telling people, hey, you're not supposed to do that. Where am I supposed to get a house rental? Instead of be like, okay, that makes sense. I mean, I've been employed for the last 5 years or 10 years or so. I've never done anything. Wow, this guy might be saying something. So I think I need to adjust myself. I think I need to do either I make more, or maybe I try to live below my means and those kind of things, okay? But now, your biggest enemy is yourself. You yourself tells you that, hey, guess what? It is end month. You're supposed to show up to a place whereby you enjoy yourself. Grab that coffee. You love coffee. You know, there's this you who speaks to you and tells you, hey, you know what? You love coffee. You grew up in poverty. You grew up in problems. And guess what? It's time to enjoy yourself. It's time not to be responsible. It's time to throw out parties and what have you. That person who is actually talking to you, the average individual, conforming to the norm and all those kind of things, that is an individual who actually does not possess in any way qualities of becoming wealthy or actually attracting wealth. Because you really need, guess what? This is what has been shared like years and years. You need to be an individual who is actually uncomfortable being comfortable. Because the moment you actually distort the comfort that you have, that's the time you realize the full potential. Now, maybe perhaps that makes me introduce the second point. These are the people who we call them the norm conformer. The second individual who rarely becomes wealthy or rich is actually people who we call them the norm conformer. The norm conformer. These are simply individuals who you realize that they never disturb their comfort. There are people who never go beyond what they think. There are people who never go beyond what has been provided for them by their life and what kind of things. Maybe find somebody grew up in a certain village, you still hang around there, you still do the same thing, you do what your parents did or the grandparents did, you're still doing the same. You never disturb anything. The moment people talk about adjust on this, try to change on how you think, try to, incorporate these kind of things in yourself, get the skills, get to understand how you communicate yourself. Please. They don't want to disturb anything. You tell them, guess what? If you can sacrifice for a entire stretch of 365 days, dedicating this amount of money, you can actually be able to get yourself from one level to the other and the other one. They don't want to disturb that. They just work with this dream and a vision, and it's like it's a vague one. They don't commit anything. By the way, do you know what? Anyone can actually dream. Anyone can have a vision, but not everyone can work towards that. Everyone knows where they are and where they want to go. But between where they are and where they want to go, the plan, that's where the big deal is. And none of the people actually are ready to do what we call the paying the cost, or counting the cost and paying the price. They are not ready to do that. For example, if today I call and tell you, hey, guess what? Each and every day at the morning, say at 5 a.m. or maybe 6 a.m., we're going up to a gym, or maybe say, we're going to be doing an online thing and you're going to be doing the press-up or push-ups or whatever the thing it is. Some people never show up. They do it for a few days, they're done. They don't want to do that thing. Guess what? And that's why most of the people are saying nowadays that it's easier to become great in life because most of the people are not ready to actually shake off some of the characters that they have. So the norm conformer is an individual who end up being average. This is an individual who has been by the society. And I don't know whether you know this. Most of the people on earth, close to 98% of the people, 98% of the people, they end up being average. They end up being average. What do you mean by average? They end up being what the society want them to be. I don't know whether you've realized this. We are kind of controlled by the society, the norms, and everything. For example, I'm going to use an example of Kenya. When you're in kindergarten, obviously everyone expects you to join the primary level, that's the school. After that, you go to the high school. After that, they expect you to go to college or maybe go to university. And after that, then what happens now? Well, because in Kenya, college and university means different things. Now, after that, then what do the people expect? Oh, get yourself a family. Once you get a family, oh, come on, we need to see your seeds. We need to see your kids. You get a kid, they say, hey, come on, not one kid. Just get two. When you get two, guess what? Now get three. Then you realize like you've been controlled by the external factors. People never shake off that external influence. It's never oozes from inside of them. And that is the problem. You find out people end up being the same. For example, have you ever tried to go back to your up country? Try to do something different from what they used to do where you came from. And the moment you try to do that, they tell you, yeah, nah, just stop that. We tried that, never works. Your dad tried, your uncle tried, your dad tried, that is your grandfather, your great grandfather tried the same, nothing happened. So I don't think we're gonna see any difference. And then boom, all of a sudden somebody comes, does the same thing, and they happen to succeed, and then everyone is talking about the person. Wow, we never thought that can actually work. We never thought this can actually, and all those kind of things. No. You get what I'm saying? So it's always good to make sure that you stay away from, stand out. And I know it's kind of strange feeling the moment you try to stand out from the majority. You tend to feel like, wow, am I like an outcast or something? Just go ahead. And the moment you stand out from the majority, you tend to have a very, very, very small circle. But yeah, I'm gonna make a whole video and tell you guys, it's very lonely up there. Point number three. Point number three is this individual whom we say you never this is an individual who is actually the complainer. We call them the complainer. The complainer. The complainer. Okay? The complainer. This is an individual who always complains about what's happening. You know what? I'm poor because of someone is wealthy. You know what? If this was done, then I could be somewhere. Hey, you know what? If I join a certain university, you know what? I'll be doing this. You know what? If then I migrate to America, I migrate to. You just complain. You find reasons to complain, and then in that process of complaining, you're just an individual who, what do you call? You're just an individual who basically tries to sort of not be accountable to yourself. Have you ever tried to argue with somebody about something that has just happened, and then don't want to take accountability of what exactly they have done? They are just blaming everybody and anybody who is out there. Hey, guess what? I did that because of this. And you cannot just shut your mouth and say, hey, guess what? Yeah, sure. I truly understand. Yeah, I'm just saying, yeah, I agree. I messed up, and you know what? Next time I'm gonna actually do the best. I'm gonna try the best as I can. Not, you get what I'm saying. So don't be a complainer. I understand. Well, I know maybe you're watching this from Africa. You'll be like, hey, my government, messed me up. I finished the school. I did the best that I can. I don't have a job. True, that makes sense. But does not mean overly now because that happened, you'll never succeed in life. No, you can always pick a thing. I always love to give myself as an example. I have never, ever gotten a job as far as the career and course that I did on university is concerned. I had to look for my own ways on how to survive, be creative in the society, try to solve as many problems as you can. In that process, you can actually be able to put food on the table. So what you're supposed to understand, just to be an individual, who understands, guess what? Yeah, some of the things externally, yeah, might affect me or my productivity, might affect how I relate to people and all those kind of things. Actually, I might actually be disadvantaged compared to my age mate, maybe in a certain country. But guess what? I'm gonna do the best that I can so that at least I'm actually, there's something great that you feel the moment you try the best as you can, and you're relaxing somewhere, and you know what? Yeah, today I did the best that I can. Let's say you're a content creator. Today I posted 2 videos. I posted 3 videos. I replied 2 or 3 comments and whatever. I did this and no. So even when you pray, if you're spiritual and if you believe, then you'll be like, you can justify yourself. But you have done nothing, you did nothing, you have never done anything, and then you're just out there, you're complaining at all the time. Okay? Now, let's go to the last person. The last person, these are people who come the risk averted. The risk averted individual, the risk averted individual. There is nothing wrong with being a risk averse individual. There is nothing wrong with you being cautious and keen before investing in anything or starting anything. But what you're supposed to understand, I totally understand. But at the same time, we still need to be a risk taker for us to survive. So if you overly just believe, hey, I don't want to take any action, I don't want to invest, I don't want to do anything, I don't even trust these bids and bonds, I don't know whether the government will be there, because that's a question that I always get from the DMs. And you know what, Joseph, would you advise me to buy the bonds of this government? And you know, do you trust them the way they are running the country? All those kind of things. And then 1 year passes, hey, I don't want to invest. Another year passes, you know, I don't believe this government. And then another general election comes. Oh, I don't believe it. Another one comes 10 years down the line. You get what I'm saying? You have to make sure, okay, 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 I understand. I need to take an action. I need to do something. Yeah, I have this money, obviously, and that's why I always tell people, before you even commit your money to an investment, make sure that you lay what we call the layer of protection. That is the emergency fund, making sure that your school fees for your kids, if you have any, are covered, making sure that your rent is covered, other bills are covered, or mortgages, if you have any, are covered, making sure that those things that matters for a human being are actually covered. Now, that what you've remained, now you make sure, can I subdivide it? I invest on this, I invest on the other one, and I invest on this. Just in case this one does not work, this one will actually work. I have what we call the soft landing. So when you have all that division of your money, where you actually spread the risk as much as you can, now you can take the action and put your money out there. Because at the end of the day, you need to be a risk taker for you to succeed, for you to make something, for you to make your cash, for you to grow, for you to generate wealth and move to the next level. Let me tell you one secret. Go grab any rich individual randomly and ask them, at what point did you decide? At what point did you take risk? There are some of the guys who will share with you some of the information, the risk that they took. You can be shocked. There is a guy whom I love to watch and listen. He's a Kenyan. He sells some parcels of land in Kenya. I don't want to mention them because obviously they haven't paid me for mentioning their company. But I just love the way he said, "Hey, you know what? I invested 5 million. I don't know. I lost the money. You know, somebody lied to me. Blah, 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 and all those kind of things." So you feel like, whew, 5 million, that's quite a huge amount of money. But at the end of the day, the guy never gave up. The dream, he actualized the dream. And his company is one of the biggest as far as the, well, let's not get there. Now, the point is, what happens is that you must be a risk individual, a risk taker individual, but you have to understand what is your risk. What is your risk percentage? And for that case regard, guess what, guys? There is a video that is I'm preparing and I'm going to share with you. Hey, guess what? If you fear to invest, what exactly or what steps are you supposed to follow so that you can be able to propel yourself to the next level? That's good, Joseph speaking. For now, it's a goodbye. But never forget one thing. Go ahead and like the video. Make sure that you subscribe, turn that notification bell on. And if you'd like to have a conversation with me, my number is always on the description of this specific video. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.